should we talk about this? This is a very rare intervention. The front page of the Daily Mail here. Charlotte, I'd love to start with you. Of course, we will talk about your story here because I think it's great. We've got Spurs on the front page here. It's brilliant. Starmer's piling pressure on Andrew to testify over Epstein. This is quite a rare intervention from a Prime Minister on a royal family matter. What should we read into it?
Well, I think Starmer's stance is, justice must, and accountability, that's what he's all about. So, see, I can't really work out why on earth he'd intervene on this, to be honest. It's not really his place, as far as I can tell. And it's obvious that, of course, Andrew should speak to the US, but he's not going to. We all know he's not going to. So I don't really know what point Starmer's trying to make, except to sort of hammer home this idea that he's Mr. Justice and, all that kind of stuff. And, it is embarrassing for Andrew. It's highly embarrassing for Andrew. The pressure is mounting. However, I just don't see him getting on a plane and going over to the US, do you?
No, Nina, what incentive would he have to do it at this point? I mean, he's been stripped of everything important to him, so what more incentives can we...
Absolutely, and I think it's actually unprecedented that a Prime Minister, a politician, would make any kind of statement about the conduct of the royal family, other than, to stand up in Parliament and say, for instance, that Diane and Charles were going to be divorced. I mean, that was as close as John Major did that. So there's as far I'm trying to remember, I can't think there's any topic where they've intervened
publicly. At least.
Behind the
scenes. We of course remember Tony Blair with Diana and the Queen. That was at least an alleged that Blair was put pressure on the royal family at the time, but that was never a public spat.
But is there a thought that he could do it on that he would do it on Zoom? I mean, seriously.
No, you're right. I didn't think about that.
Because the thing is, he could be once they've got him over there, they could arrest him.
They could,
couldn't they?
They could indeed. Yeah, I mean, they could do that. Even still now, we'd still be able to deport him to America with our joint sharing on that. AJ, what do you think about this? I mean, have we got a bit of Andrew fever? We can't stop talking about him. I think this is, in my opinion, it's a little bit of a non-story because as we know, he's not going to go to America. It would be a miracle at this point for him to get on a plane and go, do you know what, I'm going to go and help the Americans out after this, wouldn't it?
I think the thing for me is just distraction.
Yeah.
If I was in the situation of Keir, I'd think, I'm going to talk about anything else that removes the distraction of, actually, I've got enough problems on my plate that I should be focusing on. Let's kind of put my name with another one that kind of confuses people. And I know that sounds really straight to the point, but
I think you're right.
Why are you getting involved with this? There's enough problems at home that you can deal with. And, that's my personal opinion.
He's trying to do his Starmer, nobody is above the law, I'm the Prime Minister, look how authoritative I am thing. But, it is, as you say, a distraction. And it doesn't make us think he's any more of a competent Prime Minister just because he's gone off on one about...
It's like a head teacher, trying to take control.
It's like that.
Why would you do this at the end of the day other than, actually, there's enough problems with your own party that we can go through that have broken the law through simple things that other people have to abide by. And, let's talk about somebody else.
Hello, I'm Bev Turner. Now, it can feel like the money in our bank accounts at the moment does not keep up with the cost of living. And maybe there's a solution. I'm here today with the CEO of TallyMoney, Cameron Parry. Cameron, what is TallyMoney?
Well, Bev, with TallyMoney, you get a current account and a debit card, but instead of pounds, you use milligrams of gold as your everyday money.
So why gold?
Gold traditionally is a great store of value. It has, on average, gone up at over 11% per annum for the last 25 years against the pound. It's tripled in value in the last decade. And in the last 2 years alone, it's increased by 50% against the pound. Banks' savings products just can't compete with that level of growth.
But this isn't just about gold. This is about a currency that you guys have created at TallyMoney. Explain it to me as though I'm an idiot.
So, look, people need to be able to hold their earnings and build their savings in a money that retains its value and remains in their legal control and remains theirs to access, away from government control.
Great. You had me at not exposed to government control.
You should feel safe and happy with your money. You should have peace of mind the more money you see in your bank balance, and that's the type of thing we're trying to deliver and give people choice in the type of money they get to use every day.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Cameron. Thank you.
Well, talking of Prince Andrew, this is the story you're referring to, Glynis. The Prime Minister's piled pressure on the former Prince, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, to give evidence to the US Congress on what he knows about Jeffrey Epstein. Andrew has thus far ignored a request by the US to testify about what he knew about the disgraced paedophile. The Prime Minister, though, has told reporters at the G20 today in South Africa that, quote, anybody with relevant information in relation to these kinds of cases should give evidence. It's an extraordinary intervention, Hilary and Angelina. Welcome along to my panel again. Because the Prime Minister rarely gets involved in royal matters, but he's turned the screw today on Andrew, saying, well, yeah, he should come to the US, he should give evidence in Congress.
Well, he absolutely should, and I think what this is going to do is this is going to be diplomatically very difficult for him to back out of. Why? Because eventually everything is going to come out. I think it's better for him to get ahead of it. If he did the decent thing now, it's never too late to do the decent thing. He could do it now, and if he could help, maybe he could mitigate the ghastly damage he's caused the royal family.
Do you think there's damage control opportunities there for Prince Andrew? I mean, why? I really don't know why he would. Why would you bother? You've lost your titles, you're disgraced in the public eye, you've been kicked out your home. Why would you bother with the humiliation of coming to Congress?
Yeah, I just don't see it. I agree with you there. I don't see that there's really much damage control that can be done at this point. We don't know what's going to come out in the rest of the files, right? The DOJ has 30 days to release them after Trump signed that bill into law. So we don't know what's going to come out. We don't know what's redacted. I think Prince Andrew's pretty too deep in now. If anything comes out that is alarming against him, it's not going to help him save face by coming to Congress to testify. I really don't at this point.
I just think he could do the decent thing, and it might make him look like he's actually helping and trying to do the right thing for once.
Somebody has said on your say that Keir Starmer shouldn't be wading into this. Just leave Andrew alone, Hilary.
He's dug his own ditch. He doesn't need to wade in.
Who? Andrew?
Yes, right.
Yeah. What do you make of the proposal or the concept that Starmer's trying to get attention off his own woes?
Absolutely, of course. No, right. He wants to deflect. Yeah. Yes.
And just tell us, Angelina, Congress, they can't subpoena Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. Andrew, as he's commonly known as a mere peasant these days. Right. They can't force him to come to the US, can they? It's just a polite request.
Yeah, it's a polite request. They cannot force him to come to the US.
Yeah. Right, let's dive into some of the main stories on the front pages of tomorrow's newspapers back in England with GBNews contributor Steve N. Allen and also my panel here in DC, political commentator Hilary Fordwich and the journalist and broadcaster Angelina McCarthy. Right, what should we start with? Steve, good evening. What do you want to get stuck into, my friend?
Well, I mean, I'm very much enjoying this Keir Starmer trying to have any sort of influence with what's happening with Andrew. It's amazing, isn't it? It is weird that normally you don't get prime ministers getting involved in these issues of royalty. But it's not an issue of royalty anymore, is it? That's the thing. Andrew isn't a prince and Keir is a sir. So in our bizarre hierarchy system over here, technically now Keir is above him, so I guess he can still get stuck into this. Yeah, it doesn't matter what Keir Starmer says. There is absolutely no way Andrew is going to do this. Because it's not like he has good form in coming out well from interviews. Do you know what I mean? The old adage of never explain, never complain. I never realised how good it was. But it turns out it's the thing that they should stick to. I mean, Andrew left that interview thinking I did really well. So he could go to the Congress and think, well, I really performed well there and absolutely ruin his reputation. And it's not like he has a salvageable reputation. It's not like he could say anything and suddenly go back to work. He's kind of spent.
Yeah. Well, I guess he does deny all allegations against him. And there are some viewers, Steve, Hilary, maybe you can comment on this. There are some viewers of GB News who say, look, innocent until proven guilty. They have questions about the whole Epstein scandal, and they seem to think that, Andrew has nothing really to be sorry for, or why should he come to Congress?
Well, I don't think that he's innocent.
Remember he denies everything against him.
I'm not saying he's innocent, but he hasn't been proven guilty in a court of law. Absolutely correct. But that's why I was saying it's never too late to do the decent thing. If he did come and testify, I totally agree that he isn't good in interviews, that he's not at all self-aware, that he says the wrong things. But you know what? At this juncture, he's lost his titles, he's lost his standing, he actually has lost his reputation, everything. He might be able to redeem himself just by the very fact that he tries to help.
OK. Angelina, what do Americans really think of the monarchy these days, the British royal family? Do you still kind of really adore us? Because when I'm walking the streets of America and people know I'm British, if I'm in a supermarket, I'll say, oh, where's your milk, please? And they'll say, oh, my God, are you British? And the next thing they talk about is the royal family. Do Americans love the royal family still?
They like it culturally, like they like celebrities. That's how they perceive the royal family. But the idea of bringing a monarchy into America, I mean, you know, that goes against our basic principles. We escaped you guys, right? So that's really drilled into us and part of our culture. So to say, do they like the monarchy? Yes, they love the monarchy in a cultural sense. They're looking at fashion. They're not really looking at them for political influence.
And I would say the best quote I ever had from an American was, "We have all the pomp and circumstance, but we don't have to pay for it."
Yeah, indeed. And also you've got King Trump, haven't you? So the left seem to think.
Of course, Americans love the UK accent too. Like, it's so popular here with Harry Potter. Everybody's always, you know, there's TikToks, people faking the UK accent. Americans really, really adore it.
Yes, but the only issue is, I say water. And, you know, I suppose most Brits say water, don't they? And bath, with a strong southern accent. You say water here in America, you go into a restaurant and say, "I'll just have some water, please." They say, "What? What are you talking about?" 5 or 6 times I have to repeat it. So eventually I have to say some water. Water. So,
I've actually translated for a UK friend before. I'm like, they want water. They want water.
Remember, Angelina, we gave you the language, so you know, behave yourself. Steve, can we look at the front page of The Observer? Zach Polanski's had some sort of glowing review, some, you know, I don't know what it is. Greenland, it says, "Leave NATO, tax the rich, welcome migrants." Zach Polanski tells Rachel Sylvester his hopes for Britain. Is Zach Polanski Britain's Zohan Mamdani?
Do you know what? Possibly not, because it seems like best friends with Trump. I'm not sure that our Zach's going to end up doing that. Yeah, that headline, Greenland, obviously implies something to do with being eco-friendly, but it also, the other meaning of green would be naive, and I think there's a lot of that in there as well. It's worth realising that there is a bit of a political moment happening. It's populism on the left side, which we've not seen for a while, so it doesn't matter if any of these solutions are good solutions to the problems. It's something that's whipping a group of people up. So in that he's quite successful, good at communicating, I guess. So actually, you got some good point with the Zandani stuff. But some of these ideas are a bit naive. Tax the rich, yeah, great idea. The only problem is one of the things that would define someone as being wealthy is their ability to move away from taxation. So until you manage to square that circle, it doesn't really work, does it? The rest of it is he's making great sounds. I'm not sure any of this is pragmatic, but the kind of people who end up liking this party aren't really into they're not in the pragmatism phase of their life yet.
No, they're mostly all sort of parish councillors who've got nothing else to do since retiring. Hilary, there seems to be a common theme, though, with Zohan Mamdani, Zach Polanski, Nigel Farage. They talk well. They're good talkers. They're good on screen. They can deliver a message. And I guess they're all anti-establishment as well. They, you know, different sides of the political coin, but they are all anti-establishment.
Well, you're totally correct. They're all articulate, but they've leveraged social media. That is the key. You leverage social media, and then you get the youth vote. You leverage social media, and then that also gets sent around, and every single generation gets it. So I would say yes, they're articulate and they know what they're doing in terms of leveraging it.
Okay.